we are protesting the deal that Canadian Blood Services secretly signed with the pharmaceutical giant Grifols to privatize plasma collection in Canada.
If allowed, this would mark the first time that Ontarians would be paid to sell their plasma in a for-profit collection scheme. It's the backdoor privatization of one of our most precious public resources.
We're also asking that CEO Graham Sher stand down and resign, because what we need is a leader who cares about donors and who will do every single thing to fight for their dignity and for their respect.
They can say that it's for the patients. Well, I can tell you, patients in my family do not want this. And I can tell you that my coworkers and myself do not want this.
Canadian Blood Services has given Grifols Pharmaceuticals a monopoly of collection in Ontario and British Columbia, where it is illegal for companies like Grifols to operate.
We want the government to intervene. We want Canadian Blood Services to back out of this deal and not put our supply chain at risk, and ensure that what we're actually doing is collecting more voluntary donors and setting up more plasma clinics in order to ensure that we have more supply in Canada and not less.
Honestly, this decision is keeping me up at nights. I can tell you that the frontline workers from one end of this country to another, they're not thinking about profit or how to make money. They're thinking about the patients. There was my coworker whose grandson was born prematurely, and we were collecting platelets that we knew were going to him, and that's what I thought about. We had his picture on the wall and are like, okay, buddy, I'm doing this for you.
Canadians deserve ethically sourced plasma products. It's going to have a ripple effect that we're going to have to go to these private for-profit pharmaceutical companies to get other blood products, because they are going to have the majority of the donors because they're going to be paying them.
I don't believe there's any benefits for the people. What I believe it's an ideology of the management team and the board. They're simply looking like they don't want to manage the blood supply anymore, and they want to contract that out. But that's putting the blood supply at risk. We're starting here today. We're getting out to all the provinces so we can nip this in the bud and not have this continue on throughout the country.
Patients have a right to an ethical supply chain. We don't want to create classes of donors here in Canada. We will not idly stand by and watch people who are going through economically difficult times be targeted to sell their human tissue. We need to tell Canadian Blood Services that Canadian donors are not for sale.